Welcome to Value Plays Only, where counterbalance never hits. Don't worry about it. Today we have John, playing Lonis, Cryptozoologist. There's a creature combo deck looking to use Lonis' abilities to press the advantage with clues or stumble into a convoluted Shrieking Drake loop. His hand contains the Cabbage Merchant, Soul Ring, Basalt Monolith, Word of Invention, Ancient Tomb, Flooded Strand, and Misty Rainforest. Nick from the Top Deckers is playing Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. This Grixis Pirate deck looks to win fast. It can lean on Thassa's Oracle, Underworld Breach, Glinthorn Buccaneer, or a Trickery Charmed Loop. His hand contains Opposition Agent, Mayhem Devil, the One Ring, Chain of Favor, Red Elemental Blast, Cavern of Souls, and Ancient Tomb. Tyler is playing Magda, Brazen Outlaw. It is a rare monocolor combo tribal deck. It can piece together instant speed wins with Clock of Omens and any artifact dwarf. His hand contains a Liberated Dwarf, Metallic Mimic, Sculpting Seal, Deflecting Swat, Mox Opal, Soul Ring, and Treasure Vault. Dan is playing Najeela, the Blade Blossom. This 5-color good stuff pile is packed full of wins. In addition to Najeela-specific combos like Derevian Grim Hireling, it can win with Thassa's Oracle or Underworld Breach. His hand contains a Rhystic Study, Culling Ritual, Final Fortune, Soul Ring, Tundra, Tropical Island, and Badlands. And with that, let's see some value plays. John starts things off with a Misty Rainforest. He pays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Tropical Island. He casts a Soul Ring. John passes the turn. Nick plays a Cavern of Souls as land for turn, naming Pirate as it enters. He passes the turn. Tyler plays Treasure Vault as land for turn. He casts a Soul Ring. He casts Metallic Mimic, naming Dwarf as it enters. He casts Mox Opal. He casts Liberated Dwarf. The table are blown back in their seats as they band together on how to deal with this issue. Tyler passes the turn. Dan plays a Tropical Island as land for turn. He casts a Soul Ring. Dan passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays a Flooded Strand as land for turn. He pays Life and Cracks it, fetching up a Hedge Maze, triggering your Surveil, leaving it on top. He casts the Cabbage Merchant. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays an Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He casts his Commander, Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator. Nick then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts his Commander, Magda, Brazen Outlaw. It enters with a counter from Mimic. He goes to combat and swings Mimic and his Dwarf at Dan. Magda triggers twice to make 2 treasures. Dan then takes the damage. In his second main phase, Tyler casts Unlicensed Hearse. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays Badlands as land for turn. Dan says he has an answer, but it's not great right now. John and Nick say they need it, as Tyler will just win when he untaps. Dan casts Culling Ritual. Tyler slams his head into the table as Dan has the perfect answer to his near-perfect start. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. Tyler cracks his treasures 4 mana and then taps Unlicensed Hearse to exile the cards from John's grave. Culling Ritual then resolves, sending Tyler into the Stone Age and making a boatload of green and black mana. Amazingly, Dan has nothing to do with this mana and just has to pass the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He casts his Commander, Lonis, Cryptozoologist. John goes to combat and swings the Cabbage Man at Dan. He takes the damage, and John passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He goes to combat swinging Malcolm at Dan. He takes the damage, and Malcolm triggers to make a treasure. In his second main phase, Nick casts the One Ring. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. It enters and triggers to gain protection from everything. He taps the ring to draw a card. Nick plays Command Tower as land for turn. He then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He takes no game actions and passes the turn, glaring at Dan. Dan untaps and draws. He plays Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He casts his Commander, Najeela, the Blade Blossom. He casts Mystic Remora. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He casts a Cloud of Fairies. It enters and Cloud and Lonis trigger. John makes a clue and untaps 2 lands. He casts Mutagen Man, Looving Ooze. It enters and Lonis triggers to make a clue. John casts Mox Amber. Remora triggers and Dan draws. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 1 to him. He taps the One Ring to draw 2 cards. Nick plays Exotic Orchard as land for turn. He casts a Dark Ritual. Mystic and Cabbage Man trigger. John makes a food and Dan draws. Nick casts Wishclaw Talisman. Mystic and Cabbage Man trigger. John makes a food and Dan draws. It enters with 3 counters. Nick pays 1 and activates Wishclaw to search up a card hand and give Wishclaw to the corpse of Tyler. Nick casts Deadly Rollick on Mutagen Man. Mystic and Cabbage Man trigger. John makes a food and Dan draws. Mutagen Man is then exiled. Nick goes to combat and swings Malcolm at Dan. He takes the damage, and Malcolm triggers to make a treasure. Nick then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He activates Wishclaw, searching up a card in hand and giving Wishclaw back to Nick on the condition that Nick not activate it again. He plays a Mountain as land for turn. He casts Bloodfire Dwarf. Tyler then passes the turn. Dan untaps and in his upkeep, he pays to keep Remora. He plays Tropical Island as land for turn. He casts Lotus Petal. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. Dan says this seems like a good time into 12 open mana and casts Final Fortune. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. Final Fortune resolves as Nick and John both want to see Dan die. Dan moves to combat. At the start of combat, John casts Word of Invention with X equals 2, improvising his clues. Remora triggers and Dan draws. Failing to understand what the hell this stops, Dan lets this resolve. John searches up Agatha's Soul Cauldron into play. He then taps it to exile a liberated dwarf from Tyler's grave to put a 1/1 counter on Lonis. John casts Legolas's Quick Reflexes targeting Lonis. For more triggers than Dan draws. Thanks to Split Second, no one can respond, and it resolves. John activates Lonis, sacrificing a clue targeting Dan. Legolas's Quick Reflexes triggers to deal 2 to Najeela, killing it. John then looks at the card on the top of Dan's library and puts Noble Hierarch into play. Lonis triggers to make a clue. Dan then moves to a second main phase and casts Imperial Seal. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. John responds by cracking a clue to draw a card. In response, Nick casts Opposition Agent. Dan's morale hits an all-time low, as Opposition Agent resolves. John then draws a card. Imperial Seal then resolves, and Nick looks at Dan's hand and searches up a Fire Covenant into exile. Dan, totally blown out already, passes to his Final Fortune turn. Dan takes his extra turn. He untaps, and in his upkeep, he lets his Remore die. With no way out in sight, he plays a Tundra as land for turn. He casts Grand Abolisher. In response, Nick casts Fire Covenant, paying 7 life as an additional cost, wiping out John's board. Cabbage Man triggers to make a food. John's board is then blown out. Dan has no other plays and moves to his end step. Final Fortune triggers, and Dan loses the game. John untaps and draws. He recasts his commander, Lonis, Cryptozoologist. He then taps Agatha's Soul Cauldron to exile the Cabbage Merchant from his grave, putting a counter on Lonis. He now taps some of his food to help cast Mockingbird with X equals 2. It enters as a copy of Opposition Agent, and Lonis triggers to make a clue. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 2 to him. He taps the ring to draw 3. He plays Misty Rainforest as land for turn. He casts Glinthorn Buccaneer. Tyler and John sit up straighter as Glinthorn resolves. Nick goes to combat, swings Malcolm and Glinthorn at Tyler. Before damage, John taps some food to crack a clue, drawing a card. Tyler then takes the damage, and Malcolm triggers to make a treasure. In the end of combat step, Nick activates Glinthorn to discard and draw. Glinthorn triggers to deal 1 to each opponent. Malcolm triggers to make 2 treasures. Nick can now present a loop of paying 2 mana to loot through his deck over and over, pinging down his opponents along the way. Since Dan is already dead, this doesn't actually make enough mana to win on its own. This loop kills John, while Nick loots 33 times in a row. Tyler can see the writing on the wall and knows he dies in main 2 anyway and scoops it up. And with that, Nick wins the game. Today, we have a 2-for-1 deal. In this game, Nick is again playing Malcolm, Key-Knight Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. His hand contains Gamble, Demonic Tutor, Demonic Consultation, Mox Diamond, Underground Sea, Bloodstained Mire, and Volcanic Island. Tyler is playing Dargo the Shipwrecker and Tymna the Weaver. This deck looks to loop Dargo with Route of the Legends or Berkey and a Sacrifice Outlet, or it can win with Underworld Breach. His hand contains Demonic Tutor, Deadpool Trading Card, Chrome Mox, Arcane Signet, Mana Vault, Cabal Ritual, and a Polluted Delta. Dan is playing Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to swarm the board with ninjas, locking down the board with punishing life tax effects until he can beat down its opponents. His hand contains a Changeling Outcast, Thousand Face Shadow, Tainted Pact, Mist Syndicate Naga, Scalding Tarn, and Morphic Pool. His London Mulligan is a Contagion. John is playing Ghave, Guru of Spores. This walking combo pile goes infinite with any 3 cards in the deck. This deck usually wins with an Aristocrat-style loop or an Undying combo. His hand contains a Fyndhorn Elves, Geralf's Messenger, Ashnod's Altar, Sylvan Library, Ancient Tomb, and City Brass. His London Mulligan is a Scrubland. And with that, let's see some value plays. Nick starts things off with a Bloodstained Mire as land for turn. He casts a Mox Diamond, pitching Volcanic Island as it enters. He pays a life and cracks Bloodstained Mire, fetching up a Badlands. He casts a Demonic Tutor. Nick searches up a card in hand and then passes the turn. Tyler plays a Polluted Delta as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Badlands. He casts a Chrome Mox, imprinting Cabal Ritual as it enters. He casts Arcane Signet. He casts Mana Vault. With a blazing start, Tyler passes the turn. Dan plays a Scalding Tarn as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. He casts a Changeling Outcast. Dan passes the turn. John plays a City Brass as land for turn. He takes 1 to cast Fyndhorn Elves. John passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays an Underground Sea as land for turn. He casts Thassa's Oracle. The table are stunned into silence. Priority passes around and Thassa's Oracle resolves and triggers. Nick holds priority and casts Demonic Consultation. It resolves and Nick names You Were Already Dead, exiling his library, not finding it. Thassa's Oracle's trigger then resolves, and with an empty library, Nick wins the game. Well, that one didn't really count. In this game, John is playing Kambal, Profiteering Mayor. This is a parasitic token deck looking to abuse its opponent's value engines. It can win with Abdel Adrian or an Aristocrat-style loop. His hand contains a Mana Vault, the One Ring, Lotho Corrupt Sheriff, Toxic Deluge, City of Brass, Verdant Catacombs, and Caves of Koilos. Dan is again playing Najeela, the Blade Blossom. His hand contains a Mystical Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Simian Spirit Guide, Mana Confluence, Flooded Strand, and City of Traders. His London Mulligan is a Wishclaw Talisman. Tyler is playing Marneus Calgar. This Esper value pile is chock-a-block full of token generators that Marneus turns into card advantage. It can win with Thassa's Oracle or Hullbreaker Horde loops. His hand contains an Esper Sentinel, Charismatic Conqueror, Lotho Corrupt Sheriff, Tainted Pact, Besiege the Mirror, Fierce Guardianship, and Mana Confluence. Josh is playing Marwyn the Nurturer. This mono-green elf ball deck is looking to use a combination of pumps and untaps to generate boatloads of mana through Marwyn, laddering into an infinite mana win. His hand contains a Scale Up, Eladamri, Corvicdal, Great Oak Guardian, Elvish Spirit Guide, Forest, Gemstone Caverns, and Wirewood Lodge. And with that, let's see some value plays. Josh has a pre-game action, putting Gemstone Caverns into play, exiling Scale Up. John then starts things off with the Caves of Koilos. He casts Mana Vault. John passes the turn. Dan plays a City Trader as his land for turn. He exiles Simian Spirit Guide from his hand to help cast his commander, Najeela, the Blade Blossom. Dan passes the turn. Tyler plays a Command Tower as land for turn. He casts an Esper Sentinel. He then passes the turn. Josh untaps and draws. He plays a Forest as land for turn. He exiles Elvish Spirit Guide from his hand to help cast his commander, Marwyn the Nurturer. He passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays an Arid Mesa as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Scrubland. He casts the One Ring. Esper triggers and he pays. It enters and John gains protection from everything. He taps the One Ring to draw a card. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He casts a Spell Skite. Josh confirms this card ruins his whole deck as it resolves. Dan then plays a Flooded Strand as land for turn. City of Traders triggers to sacrifice itself. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up Tropical Island. Dan goes to combat, swinging Najeela at Tyler. It triggers to make a 1/1 warrior, tapped and attacking Tyler. He takes the damage, and Dan passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays a Mana Confluence as land for turn. He casts the worst proxy you've ever seen of Charismatic Conqueror. It resolves, and he passes the turn. Josh untaps and draws. He plays a Wirewood Lodge as land for turn. He casts Eladamri, Corvicdal. It resolves, and Marwyn and Conqueror trigger. Tyler makes a token, and Marwyn gets a counter. He looks at the top card of his library, and then passes the turn. John untaps, and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 1 to him. In his draw step, Mana Vault deals 1 to him. John plays a City Brass as land for turn. He casts his commander, Kambal, Profiteering Mayor. Conqueror triggers to make a vampire. Kambal triggers to make a tap vampire, and triggers again to drain everyone. John taps the One Ring to draw 2 cards. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Mana Confluence as land for turn. He casts a Demonic Tutor. Esper triggers and Tyler finally gets his first draw of the game from it. Tutor resolves and Dan searches up a card to hand. With no good attacks, he just passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays an Exotic Orchard as land for turn. He casts a Fellwar Stone. He casts Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. John says this seems like his deck looking in a mirror as Tyler passes the turn. Josh untaps and draws. He plays a Forest as land for turn. He casts a Great Oak Guardian. It enters in Guardian and Conqueror trigger. Josh taps his Guardian, and then it untaps all of his creatures, giving them all +2/+2. He then casts a main phase Force of Vigor, targeting Spellskite and Esper Sentinel. Esper and Lotho trigger. Tyler loses a life and makes a treasure. Kambal triggers to make a tap treasure, and then drains everyone for 1. Tyler then draws. Force then resolves, destroying the artifacts. Josh goes to combat, swinging Eladamri at John. He takes 5, and Josh passes the turn. John untaps, and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 2 to him. In his draw step, Mana Vault deals 1 to him. John casts his own Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. Conqueror triggers to make a vampire. Kambal triggers to make a vampire and drain his opponents. John taps the One Ring to draw 3 cards. He plays Flooded Strand as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Godless Shrine. Into play on tap, paying 2 life. He then casts Toxic Deluge, paying 3 life as an additional cost. Both Lothos trigger, and John and Tyler lose a life and make a treasure. Kambal drains each opponent for 1. Deluge then resolves, wiping most of the board. John then passes the turn, discarding a hand size. Dan untaps and draws. He takes no game actions and has to pass the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays Gemstone Caverns as land for turn. He casts his commander, Marneus Calgar. Tyler then passes the turn. Josh untaps and draws. He plays a Homeward Path as land for turn. He recasts his commander, Marwyn the Nurturer. He then goes to combat, swings Great Oak Guardian at John. John takes 4, and Josh passes the turn. John untaps, and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 3 to him. In his draw step, Mana Vault deals 1 to him. He plays a Talon Gates of Moderate as land for turn, triggering to phase out Marneus. He then casts Vampiric Tutor. Tyler responds here with a Flusterstorm, with both copies targeting Vamp Tutor. He then casts Demonic Tutor. John holds priority and taps the One Ring to draw 4 cards. He then searches up a card in hand. Not sure he can get there this turn, John opts to hold up mana and pass the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He takes no game actions yet again and has to pass the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts Kambal, Profiteering Mayor. Spider-Man meme here. He then casts the last card in his hand, Thassa's Oracle. The table applaud his bravery at trying to help. Thassa enters and triggers to scry 3, putting all on the bottom. He then goes to combat, swinging Marneus at John. John takes the damage, and Tyler passes the turn. Josh untaps and draws. He plays a command beacon as land for turn. He casts a soul ring. Josh goes to combat and swings Great Oak Guardian at John. John really doesn't like his life total right now and flashes in Opposition Agent. In response, Dan casts Mystical Tutor. He searches about Force of Will to the top of his library, and then Opposition Agent resolves. John blocks the big tree with Oppo. Josh then passes the turn. John untaps and in his upkeep, the One Ring deals 4 to him. In his draw step, Mana Vault deals 1 to him. He taps the One Ring to draw 5 cards. John casts Dark Ritual. He casts Entomb, searching up a grave crawler into his grave. He then casts Warren Soul Trader. He casts Mai, Scornful Striker. He activates Soul Trader to sacrifice Mai to make a treasure. Both Kambal's trigger. Tyler makes a tap treasure and drains everyone for 1. John then drains everyone for 1. John uses his treasure to cast Gravecrawler. He then pays a life and sacrifices it to make a treasure. Kambal drains everyone for 1. John presents a loop of casting and sacrificing Gravecrawler over and over, staying at the same life total thanks to Kambal while slowly draining all of his opponents. He does this over and over until the table are dead. And with that, John wins the game. So what did we learn today? Maybe if a certain competent Pyro combo deck seems to present wins over and over, you should mulligan for interaction. If you have any tips for the video, leave them below. Subscribe if you feel like it. Until next time, keep making value plays.
Dude, that's actually crazy.
I heard Magda's tier 1. What the hell?
Yo, that's so sick.
Although, if I get blown out on these artifacts, I'm
Yeah, but
cooked.
like...
Remember when you put me through hell last game? Shut up.
You're right. Dude, Tyler, the only thing I can do is kill Tyler. Top to bottom.
Soup to nuts!
I don't want to do that.
Dan, do it.
He's got
No,
some
because
thing
it
that
doesn't even
blows out
help me. It doesn't
artifacts.
even go anywhere.
It helps you because you're about to fucking lose the game. I don't know what you think I'm gonna do, but it ain't
But
nothing.
it just shits on Tyler so bad.
Dude.
It sucks.
Somebody
Somebody told me not to.
We're playing competitive
Dude,
EDA.
yeah, dude, do it.
Yes, you need to. Don't
Call
fall
ritual?
ritual?
Yes.
Oh, I'm good with that.
That is worse.
That is unbelievable.
That's not, it is mandatory I make a food.
If it gets me, I pass.
How did he have it?
I can't,
On turn 2.
Dude, I'm sorry.
that is crazy how much
I can't
Tyler's
even
in there.
spend the mana on anything.
Then you can
It
sack
all
the
goes away.
treasure. Yeah.
It all fucking goes away. Doesn't
Alright.
matter.
I have 3.
Unreal, dude.
That's
The
zero.
best start I've ever
That's-
had.
that's-
How many did you have? 5?
A trillion. Can you do something with it? A literal trillion.
No, I'm gonna pass.
You have nothing.
I literally have nothing.
Okay. What are you looking at?
Crazy, dude.
I go to combat and I punch Dan for 2.
Fuck you.
What do you want?
I just saved us.
Yeah, punching him is sick shit, okay? After what you did to my boy. Oh my, what?
I will do unspeakable things to go to the next game.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go for it.
Cool. Have fun, dog. You ain't getting through me.
I'm not.
No!
Oh, okay.
I'm incredible.
I heard it was crusty. I'm curious. I'm gonna cast Final Fortune.
Pass on Final Fortune.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'd like to see this.
Okay, I'm gonna go to combat. I'm gonna swing.
Think at the start of combat.
Okay, yep.
Crustify him.
Crustify his ass.
Yeah, it's about to turn into an Uncrustable.
It ruins my life to do this, but I'm happy to do it.
It ruins my life.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Look, guys,
How it blows me out.
I'm tapping. I'm tapping 6 foods for 3 blue. I'm improvising 2 for Word of Invention. X is 2.
What the hell?
Get fucked.
What the hell is he doing? Oh,
the
it's
hell?
probably fucking cursed him there.
Could be something.
Gee, I wonder.
You want to respond? Uncrustable.
Although your commander hasn't activated.
Yes. That would be stupid as fuck.
That would be
to turn off my only guy.
Fuck.
Why would I even play a card like that?
I gotta get out of here. Yeah, do something.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
good. Whatever,
sorry.
that's fine.
Man is...
I don't have any creatures.
Huh? Oh, he has 100.
He's got unlicensed-
You remember that guy?
He's got Metallic Mimic and a dwarf.
Yeah, give me the dwarf with the ability. I'm gonna tap it and exile the dwarf with the ability.
Okay. Awesome. This is exile.
What's the ability?
Nice. I don't know. I told you it'd fuck me up somehow.
Yeah, what's it do? Split second, Legolas is quick reflex.
Oh
Turn it
my
on.
Ah, okay.
Oh! I will tap Lonis to sack 2 clues, trigger thing to shoot Najeela.
He made you into a crustable.
Dude, I've been.
You'll notice.
I got crust. My bad.
I'd like to look at the top 1 card of your library.
Brother!
You're the only one who plays 1-drops. You know what? No, it might be Esper.
There you go. Or Ragavan.
Yeah!
That's what I'm saying, dude. I got your
Trigger,
back.
make a clue.
I'm taking that shit.
Nah, I got a lot to do. Don't worry.
I got stuff to do for him.
Oh, great.
For me?
Yeah, I got 7 cards.
Brother.
Yeah, he didn't do anything yet. You saw my crusty shit.
Well, you're gonna have to stop me because now I'm dying. So.
No one has to help you. We're gonna watch you die.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gasp.
MC on the stack.
Oh, wow. Dude.
That's
On the upside,
so
you won't actually get it
unnecessary.
because when you die, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Wow, Dan, you're fucking toast.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I got nothing now.
Dan has spit in your face and thrown all of his life to Nick.
Yeah, he said, hey, what if I just took us both out at the start of this game?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. He said you look lonely over there.
Right. Dang.
Yeah.
You're going to leave me out of this,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Oh, yeah, no, dude, put him on there.
No!
The sooner we're all dead, the sooner you win.
So I'm just gonna wipe it here.
So you're saying 1,
No.
2, 3,
Shush.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Let my
8.
blood fire.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah!
Dude, that's crazy. All right.
It's
2,
not.
3, 4.
There was a lot of win-ish attempts very early, though.
That's how we classify that.
That's why I'm saying win-ish.
I saw 1 pinwheel shit and then nothing.
Well, I had Derevi in hand.
I saw a man cast Final Fortune and we both laughed in your face. I said goodbye. There was
dead.
11 untapped mana between us.
I know, but I was
It's
like,
insane.
it's possible.